Hi, Phil.
Hey, Joshua.
Does this feel like deja vu?
Little bit deja vu.
Yeah. We're doing this for the second time because the first time we tried to make this top five video this week, it was a little bit of a goat rodeo. So we,
Well, you're a goat licker, so.
all right.
All right.
You ready for the top five biggest hockey sales from last week, Phil?
Ready to go. Let's go.
Here we do. Here we go. Kicking off our top five hockey card sales from last week. At number five is this 2015-16 SB Authentic Connor McDavid Future Watch Auto out of $9.99 PSA 10, sold for just $14,350 US dollars via eBay on February 24th. It's one of these kind of common big sale cards, right? That we see, not a surprise, I guess, to see it on the list this week. The PSA 10 pop count is 83, and there's been 15 sales of a PSA 10 over the past year. So that means basically, Phil, about 18% of PSA 10 copies have sold within that period. Now, I'm starting to think of these cards as less as collector cards, as more investor cards, based on how often they change hands. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I wholeheartedly agree. I believe the term is highly liquid. They change hands. It's kind of like maybe a rich man's arena for the young guns, 9-5 Marner, Matthews, Kaprizov days, because Sylvain deals with a lot of slabs and young guns and future watches. So
Yeah.
seems to be very highly liquid. I have a question for you. Do you think the lower number out of 999, I mean, it's decently low, 164. Do you think that affects the price at all? Like if that was a 12 out of 999, would that get a higher price?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
always
know.
wondered
Where
that.
I'm coming around on these is, man, you get these hobby goats, right? The Crosby, Ovechkin, McDavid, and you start to get well into the five figures on a card that has 1,000 copies of it, basically.
Yeah.
It starts to get tough for me to justify that. It seems like there's risk embedded in the fact that there's just so many of them. What do you feel about that?
I agree for sure. I'm struggling buying my Crosby Young Guns card. I mean, there's way more of that than 1,000. But same way of thinking. The price point on an expensive Young Guns card is a lot less than a future watch. So 14,000 American to this Canadian boy is a lot of freaking money. And I think I could find a card I would appreciate in my collection a lot more than one where there is 1,000 copies of. And I love me some McDavid,
Okay. We're gonna move on to number four, but I want to ask you a question first. How many valuable brown boxes do you own?
Ooh, I think about four of them. I have four.
Okay.
They're not valuable though. They're just brown
Oh,
boxes full of unopened hockey cards in the
trinkets,
basement.
as our
Yeah,
grandma would call them, right?
yeah.
Well, this is a very beautiful brown box coming in at number four, and a very spendy one too. It's a 2015-16 The Cup 3-box unopened case, sold for 16,470 US dollars via Heritage on February 23rd. So with their 3 boxes in the case, and you divide the price by 3, we're not known for math around here, but that's $5,490 per box, which is a lot of money. Another way to look at it is there's 6 cards in a tin, so there's 18 total cards in this sealed box. So we're getting close to about $1,000 of expense per card that's contained within the case. So yeah, that's
Too
a
much
ton
going
of
on.
dough.
Too much going on. My brain's my spidey senses are going. The person who bought this could CTE scan it.
Mm,
The person who sold it could have CT scanned it. Maybe neither. I'd like to
yeah,
think we live in a world
we
where
don't know
neither
anymore.
are more probable. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Hmm.
Even if I had like $500 million. Sorry, I just had dinner, little meatballs. I would if I had $500 million, I'd buy the box. Yes, you wouldn't have $500 million by making silly decisions like this. I get it, but it's my silly universe. And
Sure.
yeah, man, you hit a McDavid. That's what, an $80,000 card right off the
Hmm.
bat. One color, right? Get a two color, or two color would be 80 grand. I don't know. Call
If I
Sylvain.
bought this and brought it over to your house and said, "Hey, I need to put this in your closet for 6 months," would you think about opening it every day?
I'd open it before you even left the driveway. Yeah. and I have great discipline not opening boxes of hockey cards, I'd be all over opening these. Yeah. Big time.
It would be like a Dumb and Dumber moment where
Yeah.
I would like open it later and there would just be little pace. I owe you one Lamborghini.
IOU. Those are IOUs. That's the Lambo. You might want to save that one.
Okay, that is our expensive brown box for the week. Now coming in at number 3, we go back to the Future Watch autos. This one though is a 2005-06 SB Authentic Alexander Ovechkin Future Watch auto to 999 PSA 10 auto 10. It's got the double 10 there, and then people find so spicy now.
Yeah.
Sold for $20,000 via eBay on February 26th. Now, the PSA 10 pop on this card is a little bit lower than McDavid's. If you recall, McDavid pop was 83. This one is 63. So there's 20 less PSA 10s. In the past year, though, 14 of the 63 have sold. So that's about 22% of all PSA 10 copies have sold. The price range being over those 14 sales as low as 10,300 and as high as 20,000. So that's another thing to consider if you're in the market for a card like this. That's a huge range in 12 months on this card. I mean,
I think we're at the peak though. Wouldn't we be at the
yeah.
kind of the top of that chart right now? Like check
Mhm.
back in 2 years. Let's see,
Do you think we're going to see a number of these sell in the next couple months? I'm
Oh,
guessing we
big
will.
time. Yeah. And I think another great time to buy these will be in like 3 to 5 years because people won't have the OV juices flowing. And in like
Mhm.
5 years, let's say he breaks the record, you're going to be chasing Misa maybe, right? Like you might be
Yeah.
chasing a different card and you're like, "Oh, I'll just buy this later." There's 999 of them. I think we're going to see a lot less of the Ovechkin future watches in the coming years, and
Mm.
I think maybe we'll see a lot of lower prices. So, if you want to buy one,
Okay.
I'd probably wait.
Boy, at first you don't think he's going to break the record. No, you're dumping on his hobby values. You
I'm
just
just giving
like to me.
people someone to bet against, right? Just
I
I'm
got
giving
you.
the
I
people.
got you. Now we get to the oldies but goodies phase of our top 5 hockey card sales for the week, Phil. Coming in at number 2 is this
Oh,
beautiful 1951 Parkhurst Gordie Howe rookie big grade PSA 8 sold for a big number, 57,340 US dollars, Phil. And yeah, that is a ton of money, but obviously a really big card. There's only 34 PSA 8s and there's 2 or 3 graded higher. There's 2 PSA 8.5s and 1 PSA 9. What do you think of this card?
I think it's absolutely beautiful. I also think it's extremely expensive, and I would you and Jeremy on Sports Card Live on Sunday nights,
Yeah.
you both of you showed a Gordie Howe 2, and it's considerably different than this one, but I think the price range is between like 3 to 4 grand. Um
Mhm.
I'll save $52,000. I mean, the corners almost look the same. It's a little off
Yeah.
center. It's not that much different, but for me, it's a 52,000 difference. I'd prefer to hold that money and get the 2.
I think something like this, you're buying the grade a little bit, of course, and we could analyze every graded copy and maybe come up with our own ranking, but
Yeah.
part of it is the exclusivity of having one of the
Oh, for sure.
37 best PSA graded copies of a hobby grail. I consider this a hobby grail. Do you? Like top 5, top 10 kind of?
I'd put it in the top 10. Maurice Richard's in the 51 is and Terry
Mhm.
Sawchuk. I'd put the 3 of them kind of together.
Okay.
That's just me though. I don't know. At least for sure Richard and Howe together. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're both equally iconic. Because Howe has his first tops card is what people usually go to, right? That very it's
The
got the American color.
1954, yeah, I think this
Yeah.
card or the 1954 tops are probably the 2 most iconic Gordie Howes. Now that one's not as valuable as this one, with this one being the rookie, but it's also really not as rookie, right? It's the first modern set
Yeah.
produced after World War II, where his career began really in the late 40s. But because it's the first card of his, then of course it's considered the rookie card. Okay, on to number 1, big sale, another big sale. This 1966 Topps Bobby Orr rookie PSA 8 sold for 91,500 US dollars on February 23rd by a Heritage. That's a huge number. Are you surprised that it sold for, so what is that? $38,000 more than a Gordie Howe of the same grade?
Yeah, that's good point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really like this Bobby Orr, not this card, but Bobby Orr's rookie 66 tops is part of my staple, 100%. So I need to I'll pick up a PSA 1 or a raw. I mean, I've never seen a raw, I don't think. But I definitely congratulations to the buyer of this. I think this is a different purchase than the Future Watch
Yeah.
Ovechkins and Crosby's. Yeah, this I hope a collector bought this and just vaulted it.
Mhm. Look at the centering on this card.
Beautiful, man. It's such a great card. I love the stands. I love the cheesiness of the card. I really do.
Mhm.
I think it's great. It shows the innocence of the times, you know?
Okay, we're gonna play a little game. For the
Okay.
average PSA 8 sale of a 1966 Topps Bobby Orr, do you think this is on the average side, on the low side, or on the high side?
I think it's on the high side.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a new all-time sales record. And actually, I forgot to
Whoa!
mention the Gordie Howe was a new record for PSA 8 as well. So we have the top two cards are both hobby grails and both record sales. I rhymed. Could be
This
a
card's
song.
awesome. I'm just sorry. I'm enamored by staring at like what's the weakest part of the card? The bottom left soft corner.
That's
It's
what I was
almost
gonna say. It's like, gosh, would this be a 9 if it didn't have that bottom left corner?
if this was graded 5 years ago, this would be a 9. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah,
It's
I,
also
I
got
I
the
would bet on
NBA
it.
gold sticker, so it's got that
Oh, Mike
third
Baker.
party, yeah, endorsement on it, which is just kind of saying another party outside of PSA has looked at the card and verified that it's really, really nice. And NBA has like they have like silver, gold, and
How's
black
that
or
gonna
platinum.
how's that gonna
I'm like,
work now though? Because Mike has started his own grading company, eh?
yeah, I think he's still doing this though. I think this is
Okay.
the main part of their business. But does that have any effect on you? So if you saw a slab you're interested and either saw like the Fanatics eye appeal rating or an NBA sticker, does that mean
No.
anything to you? Does that give you more confidence one way or the other?
I've take this as arrogant as you want. I'm buying the card and it's going to be in my home in my collection with my family. My eyes are the best to decide if I want the card and if it looks the best to me. I think Mike's a great guy. I've never met him. Everything he's stand up, fantastic. I'd prefer if his sticker was on the back of this slab for me personally. Yeah. And I,
Yeah.
I encourage the good listener to educate themselves too. This isn't
Mhm.
we're not doing rocket science or brain surgery, you know. Um, Educate yourself and your likeness to a card is subjective. It could be different than mine. I like better corners than most and I like centering than most. If there's a hatui spit on the hockey card or the surface is a little bit scratched but you don't really see it, I'm very okay with that. A lot of
Okay.
people aren't. They want a good surface, good edges. So it's
Mhm.
all subjective, you know. So if the Mike Baker sticker might, you know what that would be good for? For the person who doesn't really collect hockey cards that much, but has a lot of money and wants to park some of his cash flow into some assets.
Yeah.
I think that sticker would be great for that buyer.
Okay. Overall thoughts on the top 5 this week? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I'd
What do you
like
think?
some more variety in the future, but we can't control that, right? We just need to make more money and
No.
be part of the top 5.
We don't make the top 5. We just report
Yeah.
it, Bill. That's our
Yeah.
job in the hobby ecosystem here. Well, that is your top 5 selling hockey cards for last week. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. That would be great. And guess what? We'll be back again next week. See you soon.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.